Can you say your name?
Marta Zapata.
Why become a RCEF Administrator in the healthcare field?
Enjoy working with elderly. I like helping people, and it gives me satisfaction that I'm here in this life, at least working or helping somebody in need.
What have you learned working as a RCEF Administrator?
I learned so many things that I think that I never thought I was gonna ever learn. I learned to be a bigger person. I love to not love myself, but love others more than what I did. It made me stronger. It grew my faith. It grew tremendously. And it just made me feel that in life, my purpose was here, helping people. And I learned it. I learned not to fear life. I learned to live life. And that's one of the moments I remember, is to live life and don't live in fear.
Is there any rough moments where COVID had infected your industry, and how?
We had, like I said, I'm in charge of a lot of my staff. And every staff is, like I said, they've been wonderful. And I think I was blessed I consider them not healthcare workers. I consider them angels. And that's a word that people don't recognize, that it takes an angel to actually risk their lives to help somebody with COVID. They will actually, before we used to go into, there was moments where we all cried together. There was moments where we prayed together. There was moments when this COVID was over in our facility. We actually celebrated. They made it. There was times where we just made homemade remedies, Mexican remedies, whatever we can to help them out, because we didn't know if the medicine was going to work or not that the doctors were prescribing. There was moments where we actually felt useless. But then one of the caregivers will come to me and say, look, I know you're my boss. I know you're the administrator, but I know we want to thank you. We want to help you. Let us know if you need anything. So that kind of gave me strength that we were doing something good. There was times as well where the caregivers, our first COVID patient that we actually knew that he had tested positive. And we actually, since the pandemic started, it took us 8 months to actually get a positive COVID case. So we were doing as much cleaning and everything, but like I said, this COVID, we just don't know where it came from. We had no visitors at all. And that's the saddest part. Like I said, that the residents don't get to see their family, and they still can't see their family because of this COVID and because the danger of it for the elderly. And we were just so blessed now that we beat COVID in our facility, that we actually took as much precautions to defeat it. And so, like I said, there was times where we actually hugged each other. And our first COVID patient that actually tested positive, I remember my caregivers looking at me and saying, you're going in the room first. They were waiting for me as their leader to actually go in that room, cover, and show them that it was going to be okay, because most of them were scared and they wouldn't go in the room. And when I actually, just got very strong, prayed, and that's when everybody come and pray with me and said, we all going to be okay. And I went in the room, and that's what it took. I just stepped in that room, and I knew God was walking with me in that room. And I saw all my 4 caregivers next to me, all my healthcare workers next to me. And we started working with the resident. And as is right now, since the pandemic started, I have not got COVID, because I believe that when you take care of somebody, God's with you, and He's been with me, and He's been with my caregivers. And I think it's my faith that kept me going, my faith that I haven't got sick, and I'm still working with them. And I just, I'm thankful for the staff that I have.
What were the items you had to wear to prevent from getting COVID while working in your industry?
Well, here we have an example of some of the stuff that we tried to get, which is really hard, especially in the beginning. It was a struggle because we were working and they wanted us to go early in the morning and get in line to just get 1 can of Lysol. So one of the biggest things that we are truly blessed is actually getting 1 can of Lysol, because we actually spray everything we wear. Sometimes the PPE gear we couldn't find. We were covering ourselves not with just our gear that we have, We used to use sheets. We used to use hospital gowns. We even got to the stage of even using graduation gowns and making our own PPE gear because it was impossible. One of the blessings as well, it was to find Lysol or even alcohol at the beginning, disinfectant wipes that we use after work to disinfect our cars, our keys, spray our shoes, spray our cell phones, very important, and a lot of the stuff that that we needed to prevent us healthcare workers to keep us safe was not available. But now it's getting a little bit better and we're able to find things. So it's kind of like when you go shopping and you find these items, it's like actually hitting bingo. People don't understand that even the gloves itself right now, our healthcare providers, we struggle. We try sometimes to reuse them, reuse the PPE gear or supplies. We actually try to take care of ourselves. And what we're trying to do is actually most of the healthcare workers, we try to take as much as vitamin C as we can, which is orange juice, oranges, and what is called Defense or vitamin C Defense. That's what I usually take just to try to prevent and put my my immune system up so I won't get sick. Like I said, we actually take zinc. And there's of course the thermometer. Even a thermometer is really hard. It got to the point where we were just using this and we had to kind of see what we could do to reuse it and throw it away after every COVID patient that we've handled. One of the most, we were so blessed to actually get from licensing this mask. They're $3.95, which they're hard. That was the hardest thing to find because they were actually fitted for our face. And at the beginning we couldn't use those, so we were using a regular mask like I have on, or I would use the K95, which are a little different, which this K95 are actually military and they're cover a lot but not as well as the $3.95. And as all this stuff that we use, we try to use ponchos, rain ponchos, we try to use everything to cover ourselves to prevent COVID. We still don't guarantee ourselves, and it's not a guarantee that we're not going to get infected or we're not going to bring the virus home.
What do you wish that could have been better?
I wish that the situation could have been a little bit better if we would have had got more support from the government. As basically at the beginning, I know it was new, but we needed PPE gear. We should have been prepared for a pandemic like this. Another big thing was the fact that saying, oh, you're risking your lives, we love you. They deserve a better pay. They deserve a better wages. They deserve that stimulus check. They deserve, because they really are angels. They are really heroes. And we wish that we would have had got more PPE gear and that it could have been more accessible for us to use. What I wish that they could have done better is provide for our healthcare workers that are saving lives out there.
What would you tell your friends if they were considering working there?
First, I would let them know that they have to really think that if this is something that it comes from their heart, because if you don't do it with your heart, you're not able to do it. If you love helping people, this is for you. But if you are just doing it for the money, this is definitely not for you. You have to have a lot of heart, especially right now. You not only become their healthcare provider, you become their therapist, you become their friend, and the most important thing, you become the last person that they see in the last moment. You become their pillow to cry. So I encourage them that if they want to become and work as a healthcare provider, you have to be a very strong person. Like I told you guys, I don't call them healthcare providers, I call them their angels, because they're angel sent, that they are able to keep it together during these hard times.